Yo, what up, y'all? It's Jermaine Dupri. You know I got soul. Yeah.
All right, you know I got soul.com here with Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
Talk about Miss Mulatto, winner of the Rap Game Season 1. What qualities in her have you seen that you may have saw in some of the previous artists you've had success with, breaking into the industry?
I think that, like the just knowing how to do, to address people, interviews, being friendly to people off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Like fans come up to her, they she knows how to deal with that situation and address it, as opposed to like not knowing is something that it doesn't feel like it's like foreign from watching. And then just I think the mindset of knowing what you got to do to move forward. I think that's something that she has like the other artists.
And you've had a lot of success breaking artists since the 90s, in the 2000s, and even recently. As music has changed, the landscape, what do you see as the challenges now with breaking an artist? Because it seems like it's not like it used to be. It might be a little more challenging, but how do you see it?
I'm not really sure that it's as challenging as it used to be, because you got so many different outlets. If you have a piece of product that has any bit of a buzz, it's gonna pop now, because the way people are just like on the internet, just paying attention to like whatever happens from one thing to the next. You know what I mean? Even like artists, like major artists, they put their records out now like independent artists. Like I saw today Drake dropped 2 songs, right? And it just like, from what? He just dropped them out of nowhere. It's like that's a independent artist's attitude. But the way the media is or way the content is soaked up, it's just like if you drop something that's hot and it's got people's attention, you get people's attention, then 9 times out of 10 it can become very successful. So that's only happened in this era, where you could do it like that and it becomes something that people pay attention to. I mean, I know like Big Sean and Janae, they dropping an album on Friday, right? And no single, no nothing, right? And it's like we dropping an album, and it's just like the internet is promoting it. And I think that in breaking new artists, all you got to do is figure out how to get that artist hot, or get that artist into a position where people want to talk about them or her, and it becomes basically the same thing.
Can you talk about the excitement you get of working with new artists like Miss Mulatto compared to some of the more established legends you worked with, like Usher, Mariah? What is it? What do they bring? The newer artists bring to the table that you enjoy?
I mean, I never been a person to chase other artists anyway. I mean, I always been the person to work with artists that from the start. So working with Mulatto is just like as refreshing as working with anybody that I've found in prior years. That's like, it's because it's new and it's fresh. It's like you get to experience something with new artists that you don't. I don't really like being around people that make things that I'm excited about seem like it's like regular. You know what I mean? So it's like when you got a new artist around, a lot of things are exciting to them. So it might be really exciting for you to be part of the project, and that artist come to the studio and they're exciting, and the excitement and their level is right, and it just makes the creation process just go into a different space. Because then you like, oh, I wanna write something else, or you know what I mean? Like especially for me, I start coming up with stuff faster. My thoughts start moving. I start thinking about more and more stuff if the artist is like as excited as I am.
A project we were excited about, you had a hand in recently, was J.E. Heartbreak 2, released a couple years back.
Yeah.
You were obviously there with them from the start. How is it like working on a project like that, which is received very well, but maybe doesn't get the attention it deserves in the mainstream? Is it difficult for you?
Yeah, it's difficult, period, to just see like black music in general just not get the respect that it's supposed to be. It's not. I don't even think it's just R&B. I just think it's music in general. I think like I see a bunch of artists out here that's just like extremely super talented, but they just don't get the same buzz or the same pop that a lot of other projects get. And I hate seeing that. Period. I think like Tyrese just dropped that video. I want to say little because I don't want to think I'm trying to belittle it, but he dropped the video where it's like 4 or 5 songs, and it's pretty pretty incredibly created how they put this together. You know what I mean, and the story and everything. But it didn't. I don't know. I hope it gets more coverage and people that it's not just some internet thing. You know what I mean? It feels like it's just that to me right now, and I feel like it should be bigger than that. So I mean, even people that's not even my artists, I watch everything that they do, and I just wish that the music period was taken a little bit more serious.
Someone like yourself coming out of Atlanta, that sound is big in hip hop right now, the trap sound, and it's kind of made its way over to R&B, and it's kind of big in R&B right now in the mainstream. Do you think that sound is helping R&B or hurting R&B or both? Because a lot of people,
what sound?
The trap R&B that's kind of taken over. Because a lot of the R&B purists are going to say, oh well, it's not the same, but at the other side, people say it's hot. So.
Without a doubt, it definitely hurt R&B. It definitely put R&B in a position where R&B artists didn't know what they were supposed to do. That's why it hurt them, because R&B artists that were successful, their success slowed down because of people wanting to hear more rappers singing as opposed to people that could really singing. And it definitely changed the scope of it. But at the same time, a lot of it's really hard to say because I'm in between both. I think what those artists have to do, though, they have to focus on an audience that cares about that R&B. And a lot of times, artists are out here trying to get the same audience that everybody else is getting. That's why I say about Miss Mulatto and this TV show. To me, the success of this TV show is that I wasn't trying to focus on everybody else's audience. You know what I mean? If you listen to Kanye and you pay attention to Future and this, that, and the third, then probably the rap game ain't for you. You know what I mean? And I'm clear and easy to say that. Like, I don't have a problem saying that because the audience is so big, I don't need that audience. If you want to come over here and watch it, then cool. But for the most part, I'm saying it's a whole slew of kids and parents and people that want to see what we're doing on that TV show and what we were doing on the show. They want to see it, and versus whatever they see in hip hop today. So I think you got to take the same attitude with music. I think that's partially like in the Jagged Era situation when we talk about Jagged Edge, the Jagged Edge era. It was like with that, I still wanted Jagged Edge to have the audience that I would want them to have, but at the same time, I should have took my mind back and said, wait a minute, let's focus in on an audience that will really support this. And then once we get them, then we can worry about everybody else. And I think that's how you have to do it once the music has been broken down the way it is now.
And on that J.E. Heartbreak, too, you used, I think, a piece of a Tyrese speech he made or interview where he said R&B is an insecure place. It got us thinking, with the way R&B is selling, is it worth your while for someone like yourself who's had success in R&B, had success in hip-hop, breaking new artists like Mulatto? Is it worth your while to make that pure R&B that some people still crave? Because
Oh yeah, 100%. It's worth it. I mean, like I said, once again, you just have to put all of these people in a box that you think will buy it, and then give it to those people. You can't release the music the same way that we release music. Other people release music, and that's what I'm saying. You just got to find different ways to put out your music. You know what I mean? Like I look at like if you look at like EDM is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The EDM artists, they release their records to the people who love EDM. They not over here trying to get on the Source cover, and they not over here trying to get on. You know what I mean? They ain't trying to get double XL covers. They out here. They release their music where their music is wanted, and urban music and black music in general has always been a music that that's taking over everything. It would be number one on the pop charts. It would be number one on R&B charts. It would be number one on the dance charts. You could be number one all over as an urban artist. And we always had that mentality. But I think the way it is broken down now, we have to take this EDM mentality and know that get your audience first. Once you get your audience, and once you got that audience, then the music will travel to other people. And it'll travel to the other places that you think it should travel to.
You know, we always, when we think of you, we think of an artist like an Usher, who you've had a lot of success with, and always think about what's his next move. You think that him doing another Confessions type album, that sound, which people would love to hear, is something that would benefit him at all or do well for him? Or do you think he needs to keep evolving?
Totally would benefit him. Totally would benefit. I mean, that's what people want. Right. Music, when you give people what they want, it's no way that you could lose. It's just interesting, though, I think, to do that, it would be very, very difficult to give people a album that's, for him to give people an album like that. Because you got to think, at that time, Usher really didn't have anything to hide, or he didn't even have anything to, really didn't have anything to say like that. Confessions was all me, basically, my mindset of what I was going through in life and what I thought other men had gone through. And then Usher saying, oh yeah, then she got to get pregnant too. Then we wrote the second part, and it was like, it just became like this man's story, all created from one. And it was something that he was open to speak about because it didn't really impact his real life, right? So now, if Usher was to, make an album that's that truthful or that honest, you have to, he probably thinks about if it's impacting his real life and impacting his kids and impacting, because like I said, prior, when we did Confessions, he didn't have any kids. He didn't have no kids. He wasn't even married when we did Confessions. So it's like he was willing to say anything. It's just a different space, you know what I mean? When you get older and when you start living your life, it's a different space. You start worrying about, if I say this, is this going to affect this person? Or, back then when we did it, I was saying things that I'm going to say that. And we'll say it, it didn't really affect anybody. So, but the people that was listening.
Right. I'll be curious to see what he comes out with next. So I know a lot of people are waiting. So
yeah, I think he just shot a video last week he shot a video with him and Future. That's I think his first single.
And then just to wrap up, 2 quick questions. Can you tell us the R&B song you're most proud of creating in your career and why?
I probably would say Let It Burn, because Let It Burn to me, the lyrical style, the way I wrote the song is the way Bryson Tilley, the way all the new R&B records that you hear right now, they all take a piece of Let It Burn. Like, this style of the writing is all from Let It Burn. Like, that style of like singing as like a rapper came from listening to Usher.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then, is there an artist you worked with or had signed that you thought should have been a star but didn't quite turn out to be that way?
I mean, I got one that I wish we could have just been bigger than what it was, which was Dondria. But I just think that was just more or less about. Once again, it was just a transition of traditional R&B, and I pushed the traditional R&B record down people's throats and made people pay attention to her. And it wasn't hip hop; it was a traditional R&B song. I think that that was in the changing of what music is. And by the way, we had a lot of success with You the One, so I'm not really mad. But I believe that she's a much bigger talent than just that one song.
Right.
Yeah.
We were thinking Leah LaBelle.
Huh?
We were thinking Leah LaBelle.
Yeah, I mean, well, Leah, it's not. See, Leah wasn't like solely my artist. So it was ideas that I had to share with Pharrell.
Yeah.
And Pharrell basically was the startup of that project. So I don't feel so like I lost it. I feel like I was waiting on him to tell me what our next move was. So I wasn't not so attached, but like I said, I found Dondria on the internet. So Dondria basically was like the beginning of what you see even on the rap game. Like I found on the internet having a bunch of numbers and me telling people, because I was at Def Jam at the time, me telling people at Def Jam like this is an artist we should sign. She got a crazy fan base, blah blah blah, and nobody in the building even understood what I was talking about. Like they didn't really understand like numbers and how if you have a subscription to your page on YouTube, that's like buying a record. You know, because if you take the time out to really subscribe to somebody's channel, you don't just click it just to click it. You actually want to really watch and see what else they're going to put up. And she had more subscribers at that time when I signed her than Bow Wow had on his YouTube channel. So for me, that was, it was a lot that I learned in her project, though. I feel like my want and my excitement about the rap game and this whole show, I learned a lot of this from her. She taught me a lot about being an online artist and how online artists get their buzz to where they, where she got and all of that. So that's the only one that I feel like, and still to this day, I just posted her yesterday. She's probably one of the best talented singers, young singers out here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's all we had. Is there anything you want to add?
Just get ready for season 2, Rap Game. And then watch out for Moguls coming June 28th, I think. It's on BET.